stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Simply curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. From my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I could have known would have kept me from the one I love today.
Hey, good morning, y'all. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm intern LaVern, and this is One Street Over. Welcome to it. And welcome to Mayor Billy Vogle in the house. Messaging me last night. I was at the basketball game. My husband is coaching for Coopertown, the middle school kids, and he's having so much fun. He is having so much fun working with those kiddos. And they won last night. We beat, who did we beat? Cheatham
County?
Yeah, the middle school, the
Okay.
Cheatham Middle. And it was a good game. It was a really good game. And, whenever he told me he was going to be coaching middle school basketball, I really thought these would be little bitty kids. These are men. These are young men. And I guess I'm getting old, and I look back at these kiddos, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, these kids are getting big.
Yeah.
And
does he enjoy it?
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it.
I used to coach some,
loves
and I've done a lot of umpiring. But if we could leave the parents at home, we'd really have a good time.
Ain't that the truth? Oh, my goodness. Now, I'll say I didn't see any of that last night as far as the people who I was sitting around. But across the way, I could hear, different ones yelling at this one and that one, and I thought, leave them kids alone.
That, and I can't imagine being a basketball official. I mean, that'd be worse than being the mayor.
Oh, my goodness. Now, see, and I can participate more when I'll be honest with you. I did a little yelling, I was like, oh, you didn't call that, walk and all that kind of stuff. And, everybody thinks that the umpire or the referee is always on the other side. But I'd see calls he'd miss for us, calls he'd miss for the other team, and different things like that. But it would be a job that I would not want to do. Number one, I'm not fit enough to run up and down that court with those kiddos. Yeah. You got to be fit to do that kind of stuff anymore. But I know basketball, so it's a lot of fun for me to watch and stuff. But anyway, we won last night. So anyway, congratulations, honey.
Let me get a shout out to.
Sure.
I seen Freddie Edwards at a local. I don't guess I'll say it's somebody's name, a dealer, because I don't look like we're being partial. But he said his wife listens to this radio show all the time.
Whoa, wonderful!
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing?
And they're country people, and it's like this morning I left. It was dark, but then you can see Robson County wake up.
Yeah.
As you're coming in, And it don't feel like it's that cold what they say because the wind's not blowing this morning.
2 degrees.
Yeah, the wind's not blowing like, yesterday I had to go to a funeral and I thought, man, people were freezing out there.
Yes.
They just wouldn't dress prepared for that wind.
Yeah. And our principal, Dr. Osborne, came over the speaker, doing our announcements yesterday afternoon, and she goes, "Remember, it's going to be super cold in the morning."
Yeah, Dr.
Thank
Osborne.
you for that. Yeah, thank you for that reminder, Dr. Osborne.
Yeah, her dad, Will Ed. I mean,
Big tobacco farmer, right?
well, he's always raised a lot of rapper, but Will Ed is a different individual. He just he goes to more funerals than anybody I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
He visits. He's just Will Ed, and that's his daughter, of course. And and I'm so proud of her. But Will Ed's a good person. Yeah.
Well, it's so funny. She did a presentation for us at a faculty meeting that had a tobacco theme, raising tobacco theme about quality, and I thought it was really good. Of course, that farm girl in me is like,
yeah. Well, they do pumpkins and everything.
Yeah.
When you go, I went over to her house this week,
Cool.
carried them some smoked sausage, and gosh, it's a farm. There's animals walking around everywhere, different kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love that life, and it's so interesting. Talking with Mayor Billy Vogle, we will get to the county commissioners meeting, but we're just friends and we're just chit chatting. But we was I had the conversation with Caleb Stratton, and then I forget the other gentleman's name. Shapton, I think, is our wildlife resource officer, and they were talking about going into the schools and doing presentations and getting the kids. Okay, how many grew up on a farm? And hardly any hands go up now.
Right.
Or how many go hunting and fishing? Hardly any hands go up.
Yeah.
And we're losing that quality of life. And I feel so sorry for people because I got to grow up like that.
I did too.
And man, you just have no idea what you're missing. And so I'm trying to hang on to a piece of it up here in this county.
My granddaddy had like a wet weather, what do you call it, creek, and I played in that thing all the time. And now as a grown up, I go back and look at it, and it wasn't much more than a mud hole.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a creek. See, I live on Red River now, and I thought my kids would enjoy it. But once you get something, you take it for granted.
Well, see, and that's my kids enjoy Cars Creek. I mean,
and,
mine have really played in it, and my grandbabies, man. But yeah, I know what you mean.
But now our whole life is this gadget in front of our hands.
I know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Rick, we ought to talk about politics.
I don't know. Paul Rainey's on here, and he says if Grandma got run over by a reindeer, according to Bart Durham, you might be due some compensation.
Yeah.
She might need to call Bart, huh? That's funny. Paul Rainey on here. Good morning, y'all. And Charlotte Sullivan.
Who called in that? Who wrote it?
Paul Rainey. He's my friend that's on here. Everybody notices him in the comments because he's funny. He is a retired fireman from Nashville, and he 41 years in service, so he's used to just being up and getting things done.
Well,
his bride didn't like getting up early, so this gives him something to do. She says.
Well, tell Paul
she gets so good.
Believe it or not, I didn't know I got to be mayor that there's law firms that call the EMS department every week to get the accident reports.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's where I guess
call ambulance chasers.
You said it, not me. You said.
Well, no, I know exactly what you're talking about because when I first started working at WLAC up in Nashville, when I first got the position of traffic reporter, I had several attorneys reach out to me and offer me compensation for giving them accidents and stuff. Yeah, if you'll help us out, and if you'll call us and let us know when there's something, we'll give you, we'll pay you for them. And I was like, get out of my face. And I never did it, but I did. I had a couple of attorneys want me to help them be ambulance chasers.
The United States has 10% of the world's population, but we have 95% of the attorneys in the world.
Of the attorneys? Wow.
Yeah. Hey, let's get in. This is probably a good time. This might be a good time to get into the tornadoes. Let me tell you, as a mayor, I have learned a lot in the last 10 days, 2 weeks. That Saturday, of course, I was out on the farm, and my phone went off. The warning, people say, well, it snuck up on me. Let me tell you, that thing went off 30 or 40 minutes before. And where I live, you can see a long way. If my cows get out, they can go to Russellville. There's no fences. Everybody is out of the cattle business.
Yeah.
But you can see a long way, and I seen that thing coming out through toward Tiny Town, and it come around toward Allensville, Kentucky, and Keysburg, and you could literally see something dropping out of the sky. And I guess it was the tornado. But it missed us, but then the one that come through us, we were so blessed. That thing landed, it bumped up through a residential area, hit Home and Jewelers, of course. And
God bless them, and they're doing fine. I talked to Brian.
General Dental.
Yeah.
And then it hit right in there, and after it hit there, it kind of bounced and went over to Helen Cotton's buildings and up through the Industrial Drive. And then it kind of, I guess it hit that hill over around Electrolux and left.
Yeah.
You know, Electrolux didn't have hardly any damage, but we were so blessed compared to what happened in Clarksville.
Oh, my gosh.
In Nashville.
Well, I'm at the Madison Church of Christ, and I mean, just one street over from our congregation is devastated. And I was up there Wednesday night, and they have got some road closures on Gallatin Road, or they did at least Wednesday night. And so I was trying to take back roads to get back over in the Rivergate area to come home. And I got turned around back in the neighborhood, and the next thing I know, I am in the devastation, and there's no power, and there's power poles over the road. I'm having to drive under a power pole, and I see a police officer, and I say, "Can you please get me out of here?" I said, "I'm turned around. I can't tell what street I'm on." And so he led me out. He said, "Follow me." Because I said, I took a wrong turn, and I was right in the middle of it. The thing in Madison, right there by the church, the houses did not look devastated. It was all the trees and power lines and all that down. Now, we had a neighborhood, Nesbitt Lane, I guess is where they had that trailer that got blown over that killed the three people. There was a mother clutching a baby. It was just, Lord, it was awful.
Well, it's...
And and then another gentleman that got killed up in Madison.
You know, when that subdivision behind the jewelry store, like all the trees were uprooted. Yeah. And then the house across the road wouldn't even be hurt. It's
unbelievable.
But that Saturday night, the next morning, I had my chainsaw, and I missed church. I came to town. Me and my son, we was prepared to, but they wouldn't let us in. Yeah. And now, during the Saturday night after tornadoes, there was people was trying to go out there with chainsaws already and volunteer, but they had to run them out because we had power lines down, and a chainsaw is dangerous enough without you cutting stuff that's warped, bent, got tension on it, and then power lines. And then Sunday they wouldn't let you in there. So I went to the meeting, and of course Tima was already here on site Sunday morning. It was laid out a game plan. And Springfield, like the county, where all our brush goes, we wasn't prepared for this. And if it'd been countywide, I learned something. I, as a mayor, would not have been prepared for the brush and trees and what was going to have to be moved. So Monday morning, first thing, we had to get a special permit from the state of Tennessee to take a section of the Robertson County's got 21 acres of landfill that has not been used. We just keep it saved back for emergency. Well, we took 3 acres of it and got a special permit, and Springfield was hauling all of their trees and stuff out to us. Now, we had to level it, and Tima's going to pay for the rock that we put for the road, get to it, and you don't understand, when you're getting government money from FEMA, TEMO, you better dot every I and cross every T.
Yes.
Every truckload that's gone in there has had to be weighed. They will come out in a week and measure what we've got. And anybody that's spent any time, whether they're weighing the trucks, driving the trucks, all that time has to be kept. And if you don't keep up with it right, then you're not going to get your money back. And I'm going to tell you, I think Ryan Martin was telling me they was spending $100,000 a day because of the storm. And he may tell you a different figure when it all comes out. Right. But, but then Monday morning, I stopped at the fairgrounds, and there was all these electric crews already there on site from outside the county, and different restaurants were feeding them.
Oh, yeah. We
3 meals.
Trent Cobb, he came in here the other day and kind of gave us an update.
Yeah, me and Trent done some riding this week. He's a county inspector at our zoning department. Yeah, and it's like Sunday at church. Friday, we had a bath fitters was taking in a lot of supplies from the public. And they finally got so much that they couldn't hold it. So they loaded on track trailer, and we didn't need it. Mm-hmm. So Jordan Osmond, the bath fitters, got hold of her through the chamber, and she come to me. So we called Montgomery County to see if they need it. Montgomery County said, no, we don't need another roll of toilet paper. So we are crammed. Yeah. And so Jordan, and Chance Holmes, our EMA director, went out and found Open Door, different ones, and they took these supplies for later on.
And here's the thing, and I got to tell you, what a blessing that we have in this area, that when tragedy happens, you've got people just clamoring to help.
Yes.
Don't grow weary in that, guys, because I know sometimes things will happen and like, well, they don't need me. They've got all this. Don't get that mindset, because we don't want to become the place where they're like, oh, we need volunteers. So, I encourage you, because we had the same problem up when the big tornado came through a couple of years ago, that we got overwhelmed with stuff up, in Mayfield. But don't grow weary in that. Just keep pouring it on, because I'll tell you, there's parts of our country that they don't come together like we do here. So don't stop doing that. Don't think, well, they don't need me. Yeah, they do. At least make the effort. It's kind
of like this, LaVern.
Yeah.
I had to go to a funeral yesterday. Mm-hmm. And, of course, everybody surrounds the family.
Sure.
But then what happens in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like with supplies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We move on. We move on to other things. And there's always people in this county that's going to be in need. Yeah. I mean, it's like life's a cycle. One family down the street may be up, and then one's down. And then in 2 years, the family that was down be up, and the one that was up is down.
That's right.
Yeah, life's a cycle.
Kind of like that song that we play every morning, One Street Over. What's going on? One street over from where you're living. You get where we're going, y'all. Come on.
Yeah.
Billy Vogle's in the house.
Sometimes I wonder when storms hit like this, is that the Lord's way of putting everybody back to work and thinking about it? Yeah.
I think he will use all things for good, but not all things are good. And that's one thing. People say, well, why did the Lord let that happen? Well, that's just the cycle of this fallen earth, and things are going to be like this until he, brings it all back together and makes it perfect again. But he will use the bad things of this world, if we let him. We just see his hands and feet out there. But, you're talking about the way it jumped over that neighborhood. Go and watch our Greenbrier audio video. I'll have to repost this. One of my students, who is one of my news anchors that we use at Greenbrier, Jackson Dawson, was at the car wash. And I've told this several times, but he was at the car wash when the tornado hit. And they went into the pit under the car wash, and then he went in and saw them coming out from Valvoline. And it's just hearing him tell the tale of how it was bearing down on them. And then the picture he has of the tornadoes were just above my other anchor, Honor Summers, above her house, to the point that she walked out, and she has apparently where her room is. She is kind of in a basement area, but with like a carport that comes, like, how you pull around to a house and it's a lower level. That's what
my house like it.
Well, she described that, and she said she was standing there in the window, or standing there at the doors, and she saw the cars on their driveway move toward the house. But they stopped. She goes, they stopped like 4 feet before they came through the glass, and I thought, that is just a wonder it didn't come right at her, and just the miracle that she was spared. And then I have another young man, and we're trying to tell his story right now. We're just running out of time at school, and we may get that out today, but it may be January before we get to tell his story. But a young man who, that he walks out to the door, and he's in that same neighborhood, and he's got a video. He's got a picture of this tornado bearing down on them, and he turns to his mother. His father's disabled, and she's like, oh, what are we going to do how are we going to help Dad? And they just kind of froze, because they're like, there's this tornado it looks like it's about to hit our house, and we're not going to just abandon Dad. And it passed them by. But if it had hit them, they were, and he even said, he goes, we need to have a better plan.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I think it's made a lot of people think, what is your plan? Do you really have a plan?
Yeah, see, in Springfield's still not through hauling stuff out there.
Oh, heavens no.
And we're going to get a special permit, I hope, from the state in somewhere when summer turns green, that we can burn this stuff. 'Cause it's in a site where smoke won't bother people.
Yeah.
Most time they make you grind it up and all that, but I'm going to tell you that's expensive.
You better believe it.
The machine, it's about $5,000 a day to get that machine that the state wants you to use to burn stuff up. You know, I have learned so much about FEMA and TEMA and how things work. The mayor in Waverly at the flood deal, he has still got papers from FEMA on his desk that have not been paid.
Well, if something's happening up there.
And they're not going to get paid. At this state is not going to get paid. TEMA pretty well got broke when up there Dollywood and all that caught on fire. They spent so much money up there.
It's incredible. And I mean, it's just, as I said, don't grow weary in doing good. Just keep doing good. And even if you go to some place and they're like, well, we don't really need it, we'll go find somebody that does.
Yeah, and let me say this. It got out on some of the TV news stations that Robertson County had not applied for FEMA. And that maybe we had turned it down or something. And I'm telling folks right now, TEMA was here the next day. FEMA will be back in town this week. Since we were one of the lesser hit counties, our paperwork from FEMA got turned in later than everybody else's. Yeah, we're going to get approved. In fact, we could be approved today. It might have happened yesterday while I was out of the office at that funeral. But yeah, don't fret. It's we're not getting left out. Mark Green was here. Let me think. Tuesday, the tornado was Saturday.
Yes, represented.
Yeah, the governor, he flew over us while he was going to Clarksville and looked at our damage. So no, folks, we're not getting left out. If there's programs out there, we will get them for you. It's a little different that this happened in the city limits, but still it was inside Robeson County. Yeah, I'm the county mayor, of course, but I've worked with Ann and Ryan, and I'm going to tell you, Ryan Martin's done a great job. Great job handling this.
To him.
Yeah. He's learned a lot too. This is not something that happens every day at the office.
Well, the mayor and alderman meeting is tonight.
Yeah.
So Ryan's on schedule to be here tomorrow. So we will. I think I've got that right. It's Christmas time, and it's hard to keep everything straight. I've already had my Christmas with my family on Saturday, so I'm done. So y'all have all fun with all the hustle and bustle.
Well, golly, let me tell you something. I think the older you get, the harder Christmas is on you.
Yeah. We have fun, though.
I know you have fun, man. It's ripping and running and jumping, being at places. And being in parades and
well, bless your heart, I can't imagine trying to be in all the parades and stuff. I can't imagine.
And the kids are standing there holding their little sacks out, wanting candy, and they won't let you throw candy no more. And they say, "Look at that jerk mayor drive by and not even throw me no candy." It's you have to put your head on the dash of the car as you go by.
You're funny.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever call you that, Mayor Vogle. Mayor Billy Vogle is in the house. Gave his perspective on what's been going on with the tornado recovery. And we, again, have been so blessed as a community that there was no loss of life. Now, the loss of the business, as I mentioned, I'm friends with the Holmans. They've been my jewelers since I've touched ground in Robertson County. They have some jewelry of mine, actually. And Brian's already been in touch with me. And I said, don't worry about me, because I was not in a hurry for anything. And they're doing fine. And but the whole family's impacted. Russell, Celeste, Brian, they all work there. Brian, is the owner, but they're all there. So you keep the Holmans in your prayers. They are dear people to this community, and that's impacted every single one of them. So a lot of people involved, and of course, in all their employees. And you think about the people who work at Valvoline. I think that my car wash, I think Jackson said they're getting back open. Kroger, of course, is back open. The Dollar Tree, this is something I did not realize. The Dollar Tree had a couple of air conditioning units that got knocked off. And I'm so sad, because I stop at Dollar Tree to get stuff for class. I get my popcorn, I give them a class, my kids, and stuff there. So I had to get popcorn up in West Kentucky this weekend when I was up checking on mom, going up seeing my mom. So our Dollar Tree, I talked to one of their employees who she said she's thinking that it'll probably be February before they reopen.
Wow.
So so Dollar Tree is going to be a minute before they're back open. And as far as any of the other businesses, of course, all that little mall is just, gone, with Jet's Pizza and Valvoline and the medical office and AT&T and all of that there. So I don't really know what the status is on. But you think about those employees here at Christmas, their jobs are gone.
Yes.
You know, so pray over, and of course, and then the tobacco floor, you know, and just be praying over these folks, guys, because man, you talk about an interruption to your life. Goodness, you know, but anyway.
Yeah, there's programs out there that's going to help these folks, but these folks have got to learn that be sure when you fill out your paperwork, because, and one thing, one of the team told me, said you'd be surprised of people that use fraud.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't even in a tornado, will try to take advantage of this money.
Oh, yeah.
So that, you know, it's like life at everyday people. Mm-hmm. The ones that don't do right make it hard on the ones that do.
Yes, they do.
I see it every day on different walks of life. But hey, let's get into this thing.
Let me take a break.
All right, take a break because it is 25 after.
It is 25 after, and then we'll get right into the business of the county commissioner meeting last night. But I want to pause and talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Barry put up something yesterday. They have got this Young's Country Market that they have just posted for sale, and it's interesting. I shared it on my page because it just looked like a cool thing, and it's something that if you're looking for a business or something like that, you can check it out. But that's one thing I wanted to go share that because I wanted to remind you guys that the real estate community, it's businesses. It's not just homes. It's anything and everything. And Barry and Rebecca have had the opportunity to help sell historic properties, historic businesses. They've done a little bit of everything when it comes to the real estate market. So if you're looking for a great couple to work with, and I know Barry, y'all are not a real estate team. Y'all are independent agents. He's the broker up here on the square in Springfield, has an office on the square. She is an agent for White House and works out of the White House office. And a lot of times they call them a team because they're married and they're up in Cross Plains. They've been there, about 28 years now. And they help each other out, but they do work independently of each other as well. Barry's got marketing expertise, and I know he helps, take pictures and all that kind of stuff for Rebecca. And she helps him with all the knowledge she has after so many years in real, I think she said 17 years, something like that. And they both came out of other careers, came into real estate. And so they say kind of keep that in mind too, because Exit Realty is a great place to mentor you into the real estate community if you want to be an agent or you have aspirations to just maybe do something like that part-time. A great company to mentor with. And maybe here at the end of the year, first of the year, you're looking for a little something extra or you're looking for a complete change. They would love to help you out. How do you get in touch with them? Go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy BUYRobertsonCounty.com, or you can just Google them. You can go Barry Richards, Exit Realty Garden Gate team, Rebecca Richards, Exit Realty Garden Gate team. You're going to find 2 unique web pages. You're going to find out all the information you need to know about them and about what they do. And you're going to see listings too. You can put in your zip code and listings will pop up in that area that'll give you an idea of how to price your property or give you an example of everything that is available for you. Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Reach out to them today. And please always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Mayor Billy Vogle, I will shut up. Go. What did you do last night?
Well, we started out, of course, I'm going to give a hands out to Steve Haley, done our invocation, a great job. Steve does a piece in the connection every week about what happened. Steve's from Guthrie, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people up in there, I know them from being in that area. And Steve does a great job as a county commissioner. Asked a lot of questions because I always kid him about it. He says, "Can I ask a question?" I said, "Well, you just did." But he does a great job. And, of course, in my communications, I'm going to say the county will be closed next Monday and Tuesday for Christmas. We get Christmas Eve and Christmas off. The county employees do. But let me say this before I get away and we run out of time. Solid waste. The site on the transfer station will be closed Saturday and Monday. You got Christmas, they'll open back up Tuesday. You say, well, that's a long time, but the county's still closed on Tuesday, but the transfer station will be open. Your convenience centers will be open Friday from 1 to 6, and that's to be sure that you can get there Friday afternoon because they probably will be closed on a Saturday. Yeah, those folks need to be off with their families too.
You better believe it.
Yeah, and I know it's a lot of trash at Christmas time, but still, we got to give those folks time off with their families too.
For sure. So just bag it up and set it outside the door.
Yeah. So I wanted to get that through. We might get back to it. Of course, in our reports, folks, we have about 9 reports that come out every month. And it starts at the highway department. We talk about, and I'll ask them, is any questions or comments? And most of the time there's no questions, but sometimes there will be. But like here's the fire, the trustee, all these reports these commissioners read before the meeting. It has numbers involving the county. Veteran Services, Terry Wilson is leaving December the 22nd. Terry has done an outstanding job working with our veterans in Robinson County. In fact, he gets a lot of veterans from outside the county because him and his staff do such a great job. Terry brings in north of $30 million a year into Robinson County for Robinson County veterans.
You better believe it. And those are benefits that a lot of veterans didn't even know they had coming.
And it's not like Terry takes it out and makes a phone call, so this guy needs $500. No, Terry has to stay on top of this and dig and dig and dig and dig.
Paperwork.
Yeah, anytime you're dealing with the government, and you wouldn't believe the paperwork. And usually when the government gives you a check, whether it's to the county or whoever, they got guidelines that go with it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, I'm getting way off base here, but like state of Tennessee not looking at the federal money for education. Mm-hmm. We don't know what stipulations that's coming with that money. I don't, as a mayor, I don't. Right. So, I'm not necessarily running the state down for not taking it, but I do know everything comes with the price. Right. If you ever, as a kid, or I learned growing up, has anybody ever gave you anything that later in life they didn't throw it back up at you?
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, you're going to hear about, well, hey, don't you remember when, that's kind of like, that happens in government too.
Oh, I know what you mean, but
yeah, but I want to give a shout out to Terry and job well done for Robinson County, because there was a lot of counties that would love to have Terry.
Yes,
they would love to have.
There is a reception on Friday afternoon, and I forget the times. If somebody's listening that knows the times, they're at the office. They're doing a reception for him as he's retiring. And I'm going to be visiting with my new grandbaby, so I can't be there. And I told Terry, he told me they were probably going to do a little something, but they're going to have an office reception in the afternoon on Friday this week. So just keep that in mind and get by there if you possibly can.
We're losing our World War II vets at 300 or 400 a day out here.
Well, and our Vietnam vets.
But now it's going down to the Vietnam vets. Mm-hmm. A lot of them that I go see it when they do their little lilies or whatever it is, the poppies or sales.
The poppy sales.
Yeah. Uh-huh. The tents are getting smaller and smaller. Mm. The people inside the tents.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. When I first started doing the Bluegrass Festival, the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival, the presence of the military there, our veterans, is just huge. And seeing those guys and seeing them, going through their health crisis and the ones that aren't there anymore, just love them to pieces. And God bless you guys. We love y'all. Aaron Slate's chiming in. Hiring Terry Wilson was one of the best returns on investment the county made, in my opinion. We love you, Aaron.
Better investment than the mayor, Aaron.
No. He's all right. We're fans. Hey, and Aaron, do you want to do a day? Well, I'm going to take a few days off right here at Christmas if you want to. He's wanting to come in here and do the show one morning.
Aaron, I think he's good.
I think he'd be good.
I think Aaron would make a good mayor. Me and him had some tests done about your personality and your goals and maybe your shortcomings, and we fell in the same square.
Huh?
Yeah.
Did you hear what he just said, though? He says you'd be a good mayor.
But, he does financial things that's way above me. But tell him our stock's doing good, Aaron.
All right, buddy. Yeah. All right, buddy. All right.
All right, next we had election appointments. To the airport board, a city and county representative is a gentleman named Pat Looney. I don't know Pat personally, but I've heard a lot of great things about him. The airport board took applications and did interviews, and Pat was very well qualified, I was told, from everybody, and I want to thank Pat for taking time to serve on a county board.
There you go.
Those people are getting harder and harder to find.
I'm sure.
Okay, we moved into zoning. We didn't have, but our zoning's really slowed down. I don't know if it's because of interest rates. But I think it's got a lot. But we had one lot where a lady went from Ag 2 to RP 80 to build a couple houses on a 5-acre tract. And it passed, but then we had one that was RP 80 that the gentleman wanted to go C1, which is commercial, on 31W. It failed because the residents, a lot of residents showed up from a next door neighborhood. And I'm seeing more and more of these getting voted down because people don't like growth. And this guy was wanting to put a portable storage buildings. I mean, storage buildings, I don't think they're portable, but, it's,
storage facility.
Yeah, and,
storage,
it's, I think more and more people, as we build in houses in neighborhoods, and then somebody wants to do something next to the neighborhood, it's like we're losing the farmland, and now it's when you build houses, the people in the houses want to keep what they got too. They don't want the lights and maybe the traffic. As we grow, we're going to get more and more of this. And it's hard to tell people what they can do with their own land. I see it and it's concern, but it's part of growing up. I guess it's just part of it.
Yeah. That's just it, and it is a difficult thing. And I'm like you. I don't like telling people what they can do with their land, but then you have zoning. Well, just like there's zoning issues where I live, and one of my sons is talking a little bit about building, but he can't just come and do anything and everything. There is in the deed, you have to have so much acreage and all of that. And
we do have restrictions, folks.
They do have. There are some restrictions there, even though you'd think why? Because it's 40 acres. Why would it matter what I do right in the middle of my land? But there are some restrictions.
Well, we've got sinkholes, we got water runoff. There's a lot of things that's taken in consideration. Now, when these people bring a zoning issue to the county commission, it's already been in front of the zoning board. But all we're doing is giving them permission to move on. And if when it gets in front of an engineer and they can't show where the water's going, would it be going on a neighbor or something? Right. It will not happen.
Yeah.
All we're doing is say you can spend the money to start doing the studies and stuff. Okay. Other than then, we went on to our resolutions. We had several resolutions last night, and the first and right off the bat is that Safe Baby Court was a government grant that was sent toward juvenile court. And what it was, we've had to go inside that building and change some officers around because that's the main word. It's safe baby. These babies are being brought in. Instead of people leaving them in trash cans, mailboxes, dumpsters, I think it's going to be a box there at the door that if you can't take care of your baby or something or whatever.
I'm trying to remember who talked to me about that.
Yeah, was it Melanie Starks' office? So she was.
I think actually it's when Chief Head was in here last time they talked about
okay.
it, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it was a $100,000 grant.
Yeah, somebody mentioned it.
Yeah, it's a $100,000 grant, which part of that is hiring a salary for somebody to do the work of getting this baby in a safe environment and off the street. Of course, you're looking at employee insurance and Social Security for the worker and all that, so $100,000 don't go far. This is a grant, and we're hoping that it will be a reoccurring grant.
Yeah.
And won't be something that will keep coming back on the taxpayers. Yeah.
And people think, what does that happen? Yes, it does. I actually know somebody who has adopted a child that was abandoned in one of those boxes. Not here locally, but somebody that a child was abandoned, and that is the child they adopted. And
I don't think the taxpayers realize the money that is spent through our court system.
Oh, it's incredible.
I'm talking just for crime.
Yeah, that's one thing with Mark. My husband is one of the criminal justice teachers up at Springfield, and that's something he was telling me what the cost per year per prisoner was, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! It's incredible." We fuss about
what education costs.
Oh my God!
But I'm going to tell you, when they go out of the school into a jail or prison, the cost is nowhere near what it costs to educate them.
Absolutely.
And especially a juvenile. We do not have a juvenile detention center, and it's about $350 a day to send them out of county.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think that cost would get it. I haven't heard that figure in a long time, but last time I heard it was around $350 a day.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's more than most people go spend in a motel room.
Oh, well, heavens, yeah.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
But keep going.
All right.
Keep going, Mayor. Let's stay on
track. Of course, we had to do Terry's departure money, which was he's earned every bit of it, and of course that does come out of our general fund.
And what we're talking about is where he hasn't taken vacation, time off, and that's anybody that works in a state or federal level. You have that opportunity to kind of keep a little savings with time off that you've not taken. So that's what
I encourage people to take time off.
Yeah.
In fact, I tell my people, say, well, I don't take vacation, and I'm bad about that. You need to get away and unwind.
Yeah.
I think it makes for better workers.
Yeah.
Don't think you won't get burnt out. Mm-hmm. Wake up in the morning, you're tired. Come home, it just feel like you're going. Hey, people, I'm talking to the choir out there. Yeah. So the next thing was, and this is here we go. This is expense that the general public don't know. Our medical examiners that does our autopsies are going up on their price. It hasn't been long ago that they did. We're looking at a $500. We went from $15 a month contract to $2,000 a month, and that don't pay for the autopsy. I can't believe it. We're paying these people's what's that insurance in case you make a boo boo?
Liability?
Well, it's what you call it. Doctors pay it all the time.
Malpractice.
Yeah, we're paying examiners that work on dead people malpractice insurance. It don't make sense to me, but that's the world we live in.
It's incredible.
Yeah, everybody's got to have insurance, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the world we live in. We're talking about the court system. I had to sign off on autopsies every month, and 80% of them will be drug overdoses. We've got a problem. We're talking about Robeson County now, folks, and we've got a problem. It's very expensive. That budget for the autopsies now has gone up to about $300,000 a year.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And this is something you and I have talked about, those autopsies you have to sign off on.
I know people don't want their taxes go up, but our expenses are going up.
Yeah.
And it's you hope you don't have to raise taxes, that growth will pay for itself. But when crime is outweighing the growth that we're having, then your taxes are going to go up. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. We're Robeson County. Can you imagine somebody else?
Some of these bigger cities, and counties.
Okay, the schools got a $462 grant from the state. It's part of it wasn't really a grant, it's just part of the state's program when they do capital outlay to the schools. What they're going to use it for is public school security grant and equipment to put in these schools, like cameras and I'm hearing different kind of windows that can't be kicked in. And this here is a sign of our times. Every year you're building onto the fort. That's just all it is to it. I'm not doom and gloom, folks, but I'm going to get to some good stuff in a minute, I hope.
Let's pause for a second.
Okay.
Let me talk about Mr. Perry's music. Now I want to actually mention both Katie and Perry right now, Perry Myers, because they are new sponsors of this program. We typically talk about Mr. Perry on Tuesday and then Katie on Thursday, but as we're approaching Christmas, I want you to consider both of these folks for Christmas gifts, because number one, if you've got a kiddo and you want to give the gift of music, you need to get them registered for the new semester of band school. Mr. Perry's Music, they bring these kids in, they register them on the same schedule as the schools. And so the new semester is going to be starting up just as we get back to school. And if you want your kids to have the opportunity to see if they like drums, see if they like guitars or keyboards or a mandolin or whatever it is, you can go to www.mrperryspringfield.com and get them registered. The new semester will be starting up in January for the spring semester, and you got to get on it. Now, if you want some gear, guitars and whatever it is that you might need for gear for Christmas, get in touch with them and find out when they're going to, get their schedule. Because when he's teaching lessons and things, he can't, stop and sell a guitar. But you need to reach out to them via that email. Again, www.mrperryspringfield.com. Reach out to them. And then also, too, reach out to Katie. If you're having a hard time coming up with something for somebody for Christmas, how about giving them the gift of a freshly designed space for Christmas, or maybe just a consultation? I'm a do-it-yourselfer. She will do a package where she'll come out and say, okay, you need to do this, this, and this, and she'll give you all the links and all the connections to know exactly what you need to do. And they say, most of the projects that they take on can be completed in about 10 days. They do a beautiful job shop, go and look at Katie Did It Designs on Facebook and just see the before and afters, and you're going to be blown away. But those are two great Christmas gifts right here before Christmas from the Myers. You've got Katie Did It Designs, Katie Did It Designs. You can get them on Facebook or katiediditdesigns.com or go to mrperryspringfield.com. Two great options for Christmas. And when you do, please always let them know that U-Turn sent you. And thank them for being one of our sponsors here at One Street Over. It's all you, Miss Mayor Billy Vogle. What you got next?
Okay, we had a resolution last night that has been coming to us for about 3 years. Security in our office building. This year, I walked in the middle of a family confrontation out in the parking lot and had to call the law. But our department heads have got people that come in, and I'm just for example, I'm not picking on one office, but they may tell you they give $2,000 for a vehicle when the Blue Book value is 10, and they have to pay that sales tax. That's not our law, that's a state tax. I mean, that's through the state. And they get pretty upset with the workers. We have alarm buttons at every office that they can push a button.
Panic button.
Yeah. But there's no security in the office building. Anybody can walk in. We had a security breach last night. So we're going to have to put a cop at the door. That's just all there is to it. He's not going to sit here and do warn you or anything, but he's going to be armed.
Just a presence.
Yeah.
That presence.
You need the presence. The workers deserve it. If we lose one worker because we wasn't prepared, then what's the price for that?
You better believe it.
Yeah. It's a sign of the times. I wished I had said that 5 times today.
Yeah, and unfortunately, and this is something Lee Marie is mentioning, and I think it definitely works. You mentioned talking about all the losses with drug abuse and stuff, that we need to reach out to the Friday night markets and say, can we have a recovery booth at the Friday night markets and make that kind of an initiative to where we have Celebrate Recovery or the drug program that they have up here at the church, and I can't think of the name of it right now. There's several of them around town. Great. I mean, recovery court, maybe a recovery court presence or something like that. Something that is Hope Center, something representative of the recovery community that's being built here in Robertson County at our Friday night markets. I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Yeah, that is a good idea.
We'll throw that out there.
Well, my next resolution was to deal with the opioid settlement funds.
Yeah.
We was awarded, we weren't awarded, this is through the settlement with the Johnson & Johnson folks, about $31,000. Now, we got a check. It's based on the ODs in your county and the arrest. That's how each county got how much money they're getting. And this $31,000, we'd already got a big amount that I gave to drug court. Yes,
I'm on the recovery court board. So.
Yeah, and they're building this drug rehab facility. It could be, making what Williamson and them's doing. Mm-hmm. All right. This here was for me to decide where it went. And when you get free money like this, a lot of people come out. But we've got 2 people in this county that I think Costa's one of them. Yeah. And I gave them some money out of it. And then the other one was Isaiah House.
Oh, I love the Isaiah House.
And here's the thing. Most of this money we're getting is based on people that are in rehab. But there wasn't no money for the kids. Somebody's got to think about them when the law goes in at night and gets mom and daddy, and these kids ain't got nowhere to go.
That's what Isaiah.
So I gave money for that. And then Mid-Cumberland has opened up a 72-room facility in Burns to service all of the counties in Middle Tennessee that's part of the Mid-Cumberland organization and family, like Mill on Wheels and all that. Mm-hmm. I've got a chart telling you how much money we're getting back from Mid-Cumberland for what money we give them. Okay. And it's unreal. It's up in the millions.
Okay.
But we're giving them $26,000 out of the 31 because I have been told by the sheriff and judges the best way for a person to go through rehab is to get out of Robeson County. Get away from your family.
Well, that is one thing. Yes, if
you wouldn't think that.
Yeah, but if you're trying to actually step away, I mean, I've never had to go through recovery, praise the Lord, but I know a lot of people who have, and that's one of the main things they say is you've got to disassociate with your people that led you down, that were part of that group, and you love them still, but if you've got people that draw you that way, and some of these families, they're multi-generational.
Yeah.
You've got adults that are, I saw an adult in a school parking lot last night smoking pot and coming out between games. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing?
In front of the kids.
Well, no, they wasn't. Yeah. I mean, they were at least not, they at least left the gym. But
well, hey,
what are you thinking?
I said 26,000. That was just what Robson County did with our little part of that money. Like Williamson County Mayor told me, his part was over 100,000. And this facility will house Robson County people, getting them away from their family. Because let's face it, I think some families may try to slip them drugs.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
So we got to get them out of the county. We got to get them out of the county.
You've got a lot of teens out there. First time they smoked pot was with a parent, and that's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
We had some 3 resolutions coming from the highway department last night, and one of them was adding some roads to the road list. Every year we upgrade our road list. I remember years ago when I first got on the commission, we took a lot of roads off the list. Like we'd have a road that was going to somebody's county road that was off the main road to somebody's mailbox. And we started making people put their mailbox up there at the road. We wasn't going to pave your driveway. That just wasn't going to work. So every year we go over this road list, and there's some roads that have been added, and there'll be some that's taken off as the city's indexed more and more of Robson County. So we had 3 resolutions dealing with that. These road lists will be signed off by me, the county commissioners, saying that we did act on this, and I think probably the state makes us do this. Like right here, resolution changing to the official maintenance road list. If your road is not on this list, you will not get maintenance. That's just all it is to it. The county is very diligent about not going into cities, working on roads, or even cutting up trees after a storm, because we do have 10 cities, and if you do it for one, you got to do it for all.
Yeah.
We do good to just take care of our own, when the highway department gets called out, and that is on overtime, and I think we offer them overtime or comp time to try to keep our money down. I'm going to tell you, I put our highway department up against anybody in the state.
Yes, they're still
anybody in the state.
We've got that little stretch of road that comes down to our house that is not paved, and it's just off a paved road, but it only goes to us, but it's an access road to easements and all that. I don't know if it's county or city. I forget who takes care of it, but they're just, I call them as like, hey, it's rutted out, and then the next thing I know, they're taking care of it. Yeah. And so we appreciate you.
And we're doing it with less people than we've ever had.
Yeah.
For
sure.
But one thing about the equipment they use keep going up every year. It's to get a machine that just cuts grass now and stuff like that. It's unreal what that stuff costs. Tractors and stuff.
Keep going.
Board of Education had a resolution to do away with surplus property, and what it was, these seniors this year with their computers will be able to keep them. We're moving that. And,
we do that every year.
We do it every year. Yeah. And trust me, some of these computers don't need to be brought back in anyway.
No, they don't, honestly. After they've had them for 4 years, they're pretty rough sometimes.
They've been used like a football. Yeah. All right, the biggest thing last night was we had a resolution about the holiday Juneteenth. Of course, with open meetings now, you sign if you want to talk about a certain agenda, and we had several people from the public come in talking about Juneteenth, wishing Robson County would honor it. We're one of the few counties that don't, and probably the city of White House don't, but I think they're fixing to honor it. And we've got 12 holidays, and I've got 24 commissioners. It wasn't that this is a race issue or not. It was that some of them just didn't want to give more than 12 holidays. Mm-hmm. They say, when's the 13 and 14? Where do we stop? And I say that when you're doing sick days, holidays, vacation days, it's where do we stop? Because a lot of people don't get the day after Thanksgiving. A lot of people don't get Christmas Eve. Just because the state may do it doesn't mean Robson County's got to do it. Mm-hmm. Because I do know our county employees get paid better than state employees.
The notion of having paid holidays to somebody that's working for the schools now and seeing paid holidays, I'm just mind blown at the amount of paid holidays that different people observe. I mean, having worked in the private industry my entire career.
Yeah.
private sector doesn't do that, y'all. And I mean, you can observe all the holidays you want. That doesn't mean you need to have a paid day off for it. I'm just saying.
Well, it's.
I mean, they didn't pay us to take President's Day in radio, y'all.
I didn't hear.
You know, I mean, or whatever. Or,
it's like I had a group of commissioners that wanted to swap it for Columbus Day, and I can understand that because, the kids nowadays don't even know who Christopher Columbus is.
Well, and there's so many. We could go down a real rabbit hole here about Columbus and what the truth of his legacy is.
Right there.
If you want to, and that's what I'm saying. If you're going to bring a new one in, then take one away. Yeah. And I don't think that would be a bad one to swap it for.
Yeah. Well, President's Day was the first one that came up last night.
You need to honor our president.
It was amended to replace President's Day, because I love to ask this question. I'm asking people out there right now that's listening to us, who was president when you was born? Mm-hmm. And I promise you 90% of them can't tell you.
JFK.
Yeah.
JFK.
Yep. See, I've asked you, I think. Mine was Eisenhower. I'm telling my age now. Mm-hmm. But, I remember I was in Greenbrier talking to a citizens group, senior citizens, and a bunch of elderly ladies, I'm going to be politically correct, and I asked them that question. And finally, this lady in the back raised her hand up real slow, and I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Abraham Lincoln." I'll never forget that. I fell on the floor laughing.
That's funny. That's funny.
The first resolution.
Okay, let me ask you this. Who was the first person you ever voted for?
Who, me?
Uh-huh.
The first bumper sticker I ever put on my truck was Ray Blanton.
Okay.
Well, how'd that work out? He ended up in prison. And,
president. What was the first president that you voted for? Do you remember that?
I can't probably remember.
Mine was Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan?
Yeah. First one, because I was in college, and first time I got to vote was Ronald Reagan. So.
Wow, how the parties turned for Ronald now.
Ain't that the truth? Well, and you figure he came out of California. Yeah. Oh dear God!
Hey, all right,
Cali, I love you.
The first thing was you declined to add Juneteenth. Well, that got beat because they wanted to respect Juneteenth. The second was the second resolution, and this all took about 35 minutes, folks. We was there till 9 o'clock last night. And then the second was swapping it out, and they couldn't figure out what day to swap it out. And the third one was just to add it. And I think what happened when finally the dust settled, that we probably added a new holiday, because they decided to swap it out, but then was going to have to come up with the money for it to happen after the first of the year. So if you do that, you might well add a new holiday. And right now, that day is not budgeted. And a new holiday for the county employees costs the county about $100,000.
So do you think it's
in overtime paying the sheriff, EMS, solid waste, and animal control?
So do we think it's going to be approved then?
It did get approved last night.
It did get approved.
But I don't think what we didn't improve was we going to fund it this year or next year, and the way it fell out, they decided to take it the day after Thanksgiving and do away with Columbus, but we've already had Thanksgiving. And if you go on Juneteenth, you didn't honor it. Huh. That's kind of the way it fell out. I've been in county government now 25 years. I've never seen 3 resolutions on one item before.
Okay, so we'll wait and kind of sort that out.
Yeah, we'll sort. The budget committee's going to have to come up with that money.
Okay. So
and
there's a financial thing now.
Yeah, and there's a thing there where we're spending one-time money again, and I'm dead against spending one-time money. Okay. If I can't pay my rent and I borrow from somebody, well, that was just for 1 month. And that month, and once that month's gone, what are you gonna do next month?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Keep going. Let's get through it.
All right.
We got time, but let's knock them out.
Okay. Let me get through Juneteenth here. Like I say, there's 3 resolutions that I'm pulling over, and this here is a resolution. Wow. The Conwood building was given to the city years ago. The city did not want it because of fear of these fuel chemicals being in the ground. They gave it to the county. The county gave it to the industrial board. This thing was getting kicked down the road bad. Well, finally, the industrial board spent a lot of money on it, put some people in it for jobs, and they sold that building, and the county's getting back some money out of it. And that's one-time money that we're probably going to use to fund the security at the courthouse and maybe this holiday. After that, we got to find it again.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. And here it is, 8 o'clock. The big resolution last night come from the Robertson County Industrial Board in the city of Springfield. Jim Moore is developing a piece of property on 431 that's going to add, like right now, that property is bringing the county in about $3,000 a year in property tax because it is, agriculture, nothing's on it. There's going to be a hotel put on it, a strip mall, and some other buildings that will bring in a lot of money. We're talking maybe the financial assistance to Robertson County could be up around $483,000.
Wow.
Now, this is a TIF. And what this is, Jim will not pay these fees on these businesses until the business start up. He's spending a lot of money. And if you start charging him day one, well, we're going to charge you for this, and this because your businesses. He said, well, there's nothing there yet. I'm building it. Okay. Let's let him build it out. What we're doing, we're putting taxes on the front, putting them on the back, where he starts these businesses up or sells these businesses. He's already named some vendors, high quality vendors. We're not talking about low quality stuff like. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, don't just say name.
Yeah, we're not. We ain't talking about beer joints. Yeah, here we go. Shush. But it's gonna be a big asset to the city and Robeson County, awesome. and that passed big time. Awesome. And it's 8:00.
And did you get it all in?
Yes, I did.
We're good. We talked about everything, and we still got it done. Thank you guys for joining us. And tomorrow we'll be checking in, I believe, with Ron Martin. I do need to confirm with him, but I think my calendar's right in my head. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day. Merry Christmas. This is 1100 WSGI.